seen. So I said, we have already seen what counseling is. We have seen the different counseling skills that are required for you to be effective in your task as a counselor. We also saw the concept of Christian counseling. We saw the goals of counseling. We saw the principles, the guiding principles of counseling. We saw the qualities of a good counselor. We saw the importance of counseling. And I think our last class was on some key principles of Christian counseling. But before I go ahead, let me redefine again for you counseling. We said counseling is the process of talking about and walking through your personal problems with the counselor. I understand network issues and all of that. We pray that it will be stable in the name of Jesus. And at any time you are not able to get me, please just signal. Are we all in class?
Yes, sir. I'm not getting. I think we should mute our mic so that maybe I'm out of network.
Okay, everybody mute yourself so that I'm the only one talking. Okay. So go on today. Today we'll be talking about the 3 stages. The 3 main stages involved in a counseling process. But let me review your mind with what counseling is. We said counseling is the process of talking about and walking through your personal problems or issues with a counselor. So when you come to meet a counselor, you have a problem, you have an issue, and the counselor's job is to talk through that problem and walking through that problem so that you can have a solution. So you already see that talking through and walking through, talking session and walking session. So you see that there is already communication. He already highlights on communication. So I say in this process, the counselor helps in a personal way by helping you to clarify the issues. The counselor helps you to clarify the issues, explore the options, increase self-awareness, and develop strategies. The counselor's job is to do what? You are coming with problems, and he is there to have a time to talk with you on that problem and to have a working session with you about the problems or issues that you are facing in your relationship. His job will be to clarify the issues, which means throw more light on that issue. With his knowledge as an expert, there are some things that maybe they are just assumptions to you. There were some conclusions that you were already taking with that in ignorance. But from his knowledge, he is able to clarify the issues. And then you are already taking different decisions, and you are already stuck on a point. When he clarified the issue, he is now able to explore the options so that you see, what about this option? Yes, I'm ready for divorce, but what are the consequences that you have in this divorce issue? Do you really know what you are up to or what you are into? So he's exploring the options. Then he increased self-awareness. When light comes through knowledge, by schooling you, you'll be able to, you become self-aware. And then from there, he's able to develop strategies on how to handle your issue, on how to cope with that issue. And we have already said a lot of things that as much as it depends on you, the counselor, you are doing everything to restore the relationship, to offer a solution. Your major problem is not to break, is not to push people into divorce. Those are only last options. But as much as it depends on you and it depends on God, you are doing everything to offer a solution. And so we said you do this as a master architect, a skilled counselor, an expert that imploring all the different skills that we have already mentioned. And so today we are going to be talking on those three main stages involved in a counseling process. The three main stages involved in a counseling process. The first stage is the stage of exploration. It's a stage of exploration which involves helping the client examine his or her thoughts and feelings. Remember, this is just the first contact. This is the first contact. And because this is the first contact, you are trying to build a rapport and establish trust. You are trying to build an understanding for the client's concerns and goals. The client have goals, the client have concerns, the client is coming with issues, the client is having something that emotional state in which you as a counselor you need to deal with. At this first stage, when you meet with the counselor, it's not already the counseling session, but it's a time of trying to build a rapport, trying to establishing trust, trying to building an understanding, trying to understand the client's concern and the client's goal, trying to understand the needs of the client. And as I started this class, I started by asking you what you did yesterday. And I said, I had, as a teacher I was teaching, I was on my way somewhere, but I had something like intake of information. Very important. Intake of information. And this is this first stage. The first stage is a stage of taking information. Taking information. And taking information is this stage of building rapport, establishing trust. The way you welcome the client, you show respect, you portray that skill that you are going to be very confidential, establishing trust, and then trying to understand the client's concerns and goal in that first pre-counseling session. So that's the first stage. That's the first stage. So it's a stage of just general exploration, which involves helping the client to understand his or her own stuff. And we have said that as a skill counselor, you must be emotionally intelligent, high emotionally intelligent, or balanced emotionally intelligent, because the issues that the counselor is bringing on board, bringing to the table, they are issues that has to do with emotions. The counselor is sick emotionally. Is sick emotionally. Lock me this door. Lock me this door. Is dealing with emotions, and because of that, the counselor is already getting out of hand. It cannot take this. I cannot do this. I'm already. So you, as a master skill counselor, you are emotionally balanced. And we said emotional intelligence is the ability to handle your own emotion positively, constructively. So, and I said, if you cannot manage your own emotion constructively and positively, you cannot handle the emotion of others constructively and positively. So there's this first stage where the counselor or the client comes, the counselee or the client come before you. You have to be able to handle that emotion, because the person is already in a tension, is in a state of problem, is having issues. So you must be skilled to manage that emotion. It's not already the time that you are trying to offer the solution, but you must first of all be able to calm the person down. And all the skills that we have learned about a counselor, they are important, because they are the ones that will help you to know whether you'll be able to handle that emotionally unstable situation. Issues of counseling, as there are issues of emotional health or sickness, emotional sickness or mental health, mental sickness. When I say mental health or mental sickness, you understand what I'm talking about. So the first stage is that state, is this first stage of exploration and involve helping the client understand, examine his or her thoughts and feelings. Yes, he's coming with this kind of tension. He's coming with this kind of feelings. He's coming with this state of mind. He's coming with this tension where he is. You start by building rapport. You are establishing trust. You are showing concern. You are showing respect. And then trying now to understand the client's goals. Why is he acting the way he's acting? Why does he want to go ahead with this kind of decision? All of that you are expecting as the first stage. Okay. The second stage is the stage of insight, where you are clarifying the issues. Notice, as this theory I will be talking is going back, it will go back to my definition of counseling. It will fit in all that I've talked about definition of counseling. So the second stage is a stage of insights, helping the client understand the reason for these thoughts and feelings. The first stage is you trying to understand why he's feeling the way he's feeling, examining those his feelings. But the second stage is helping him through your insight to understand the reason for his thoughts and feelings. And here the counselor and the client, they work together to explore the issues and develop insight in order to implement strategies for change or coping. I take you back to the definition of counseling. We said counseling is the process of talking through and walking through your personal problems with a counselor. So you have problems, you have issues. That process of talking session, that walking session, walking together, is what we call counseling. And I said, in this process, the counselor, you help the counselee, the client, one, to clarify the issues. Clarify the issues. Explore the options. 3, increase self-awareness. Develop strategies. I'll take it back again. Clarify the issues. So he's coming with that tension. He's coming with issues. He's having problems. And he's already about taking some decisions. Or has already taken some decision in his mind, just waiting to implement. But you as a counselor, you help him to clarify the issues, what he is into. Well, how do you do that? By your insight. How do you do that? By the knowledge that you give him and opening his eyes to see what he is into, what he's about to do, the stakes that are involved. Yes, you want divorce, you throw more light. Let him really understand the consequences of divorce. When you do that, you have increased self-awareness. When you do that, you explore the options that he now know, is now faced with. So should I take divorce or not? If I take divorce, this is what I have. If I don't take divorce, this is what I have. So you are exploring the options. You are not taking decision for the counselee or the client. But when through your skillful interpretation of his problem and issues, clarifying them, he is faced now with options to choose. And I stated that clearly, that you don't take decision for them. You push them to take the decision by putting things, opening things on the table. And then after you do that, you now develop, because it's a working session, you now develop strategies on how to cope with the issue. We have already said that sometimes some situation you will never change them. Some situation you will only help them to cope with the situation. And that many couples have learned to live with some issues all their life. They will never change it. There may be some healing from some scars, but the scars will remain and they will learn to live with the scars. So we said, so it is your duty to help them cope with that situation. And that's where it comes about developing the strategies. So let me go back to my 3 main stages involved in the counseling process. Stage 1, I said, is a stage of helping the client examine his or her thoughts and feelings. You help him examine it, understand his or her thoughts and feelings. And in this first stage, you are exploring, you are building rapport, establishing trust, understanding the client's concerns and goals. You are understanding him. You are trying to understand him. You are trying to understand his feelings. You are trying to understand his reaction. You are trying to understand the issues that he is in. But you are using different skills. You show respect. You show that attitude or claims of total confidentiality, which will determine, the more you do that, it will make the person to be able to pour out himself to you because he already thinks, okay, yeah, this person is trustworthy. We spoke about empathy, and we said people don't care what you know until they know how much you care. People don't care how much you know until you know how much you care. So the way you show how you respect, the way you show how you are putting yourself in the person's situation, the way you welcome the person, all of that. This first stage will determine how much the person will pour himself to you. So this is the first stage of establishing rapport. And in your class of yesterday, in conflict management resolution, I eardrop that is that stage of intake of information. The way you are taking information, that intake of information. So that's our first stage. And she did also mention the point that we have already spoken about, active listening. Active listening. And that the way you are listening to their client, you give him a sense like you so believe in what he's saying, like there is nothing wrong in what he's saying. You so listen and give attention in a way that the person feel like, yes, this is the person that really just understand me. Because people are going through issues sometimes. They are just looking for somebody who can relate with their issue. And then the way you show respect, the way you are portraying empathy, the way you are listening to the person, it makes the person feel like, yeah, this guy, he really understands my issue. Because many of the problems of people, they are not even looking for who can listen to them. So I said this is the first stage of building rapport, establishing trust, understanding the client's concerns and goals. So you see how all those keys are coming in. The other keys are coming in this first stage. Then I talk about the second stage. The second stage is the stage of insight, where you help the client understand the reason, thoughts, and their feelings. I said the first stage, you are trying to understand and examine and understand their thoughts and feeling, listening and trying to relate with them, creating rapport and trust and all of that. But this second stage, you are the one through your insight trying to, which is actually the counseling session, trying to make them understand the reason why they are feeling the way they are feeling. And in this stage is a stage where you are now working with the counselee to explore the issues, to create that self-awareness, to clarify the issues as I thought in the definition, explore the options, develop strategies, create self-awareness or increase self-awareness. And this directly will get the client for the implementation of the strategies for change or coping with his issue. The last stage, the last and the third stage is the stage of action. Is a stage of action, and it involves now the client making changes. This is the termination stage and focus on summarizing progress, summarizing the things that you have been dealing with, addressing any remaining issues, and preparing the client for conclusion of the counseling. The conclusion of the counseling, offering him tools recommendations on how he can cope with the issue, giving him or her the way forward, and maybe possibly putting the person on a kind of a follow-up scheme. Especially for us Christian counselors, where we said, counselors, we as Christian counselors, some of the principles we talk about collaboration, that counselors, they deal with different expertise. They deal with doctors, they deal with psychiatrists, they deal with pastors, different people that you can maybe hand them over after your counseling and say, okay, go up, go meet this doctor, meet this expertise, meet this, all of that. Those are the way forward. And then we also talk about, in Christian counseling, counselors employ things like meditation, fasting, journaling. So those are those three main stages in counseling. I review them again. First stage, you are trying to understand the client's thoughts and feeling. You are trying to understand how they feel, the way they are feeling. And that first stage is a stage of rapport. It's a stage of building rapport, building a relationship, building trust, trying to understand his concerns and goals, trying to feed yourself in his state of mind, in his situation, by employing your skills of empathy, actively listening, just in order to draw the person and make the person feel like, yes, you care and you know what the person is going through. And then you win his trust. And then the person feels like, okay, he can really commit his life to you in total confidentiality. Second stage, I said the second stage is you now making the person to understand why they feel the way they're feeling, by giving insight. And by your insight, you create awareness, you clarify the issues, you develop strategies for implementation. And then the third stage, I said, is the stage of action. And this third stage involves the client making changes, the client making decisions, the client taking a stand. And that last stage of counseling is the stage where you address remaining issues, summarizing the progress, how are you going, the way forward, developing a scheme of follow-up, recommendations. I don't want to overtake time. I think that we have gotten these three stages. Let me hear you ask any question before I move ahead. Any question? If somebody has not understand something.
I understand if this second stage where you say you help the client to understand the insight, are you already dealing with the clients or still one-on-one?
The first stage is the one-on-one. The second stage, you are already in the process with the two.
Couple.
If it is a couple with the two, because counseling is not all the time about couples. Okay, now let me go back to last time when Mama Eve asked a question here and told us what she did for a couple that came to her with an issue. And since she was not yet, she didn't really know, the issue was so sensitive. So she said, okay, she will get back to them. But that first stage was that stage of only understanding the client, understanding their feeling, understanding why they feel the way they are feeling, their thoughts and feeling, creating rapport. Is that first stage of building trust. Is that first stage of trying to understand their goals and objectives and aims. Is that first stage of intake of information. Is that first stage. Then she said, I'll go, we'll talk about that in the next session. Do you understand how it fits now? Now, in the second session, when she will come, after she spoke with us in class and got some insight, she will now go to clarify the issues. She will now go to explore the options. She will not go to create self-awareness in the people. And she will now go to develop strategies, which is the second stage of counseling. Okay, did you get that right?
Yes, I've gotten you. Thank you.
Okay. Let me hear any other concern. Okay. I don't have too much time, so I move ahead. In my research, I did some things about preparing the client for counseling. Preparing the client for counseling. So this session we'll be talking, the next session we'll be talking about preparing the client for counseling. So this may also fall in the first stage. So it falls in the first stage, preparing the client for counseling or pre-counseling session. For the sake of this class, many of the things that we teach here is as if we are teaching the couple at the same time, the counselors. So, but, okay. If you know, if we are now, we are all okay. Let me know if you are getting me now.
Me, I'm getting you.
Is everyone getting me? Okay. If you are getting me, then mute yourself. Unmute yourself. Well, mute yourself. Let me go ahead.
Okay.
So I'm talking about this session. I'm talking about preparing the client for counseling, for pre-counseling session. So this will fit in the first stage. And I said, as a counselor, some of the things to talk with the client before the counseling process, these are some of the things that you need to talk with them. One, you have to address the issue of honesty. Address the issue of honesty. That is telling the client to know that you are not God. So you will not know everything that you need to know. And if you don't know everything that you need to know, you cannot help them. So they have to be very honest with you. So that first need, the first thing that you need to know, you need to know about counseling is that you and your partner have to be honest. The person and the partner need to be honest. Because I made the notes as if I'm talking to the couples that I'm counseling. So the first thing is, you and your partner, you need to know that you need to be honest. Because if you aren't honest with each other and with your therapist, then you won't be able to find out what problems really are. Know that you are coming with problems, but you don't know what really that problem is. It's a counselor that helps you to know the degree of your problem and what really that problem is. And this is the reason why in the counseling session, most often at the end, the couple, they will realize that there was not even a problem. After the counselor has explored the issues, clarify the issues, create self-awareness, clarify the options and all of that, they find themselves understanding that there was actually no problem. So in the first session, you are telling them they need to be very honest with each other and with the therapist. Because if they are not honest, they will not be able to find out what really your problems are, and you will not be able to help them. And if you don't know what the problems are, then you cannot fix them. So they end up even in more problems that they are not just fixing. So by what you like and what you don't like in your relationship, and that gives them an opportunity to make changes as well. So you address the issue of honesty. So you are telling them, Madam, sir, what I will need from you, I need you people to be very honest to yourself and to each other. And be honest to me as well. And then in this case, we are talking about Christian counseling. So you bring the issue, or you have to be honest before God. You have to be honest to God. Whatever that you say with all sincerity and honesty. Point number 2, let me not take time. Counseling should start early. You are telling them of the need to start early. You know, people come, one person may come for counseling, but the other person does not want to come. So when you talk with the one person and you talk with another person, the first thing you are telling them is issues are good when they deal with them early. And any couple therapy, they will agree that it is good to go sooner than later. But most often, people wait until 6 months. People stay with problem until 1 month, until 1 year. And then tension brews in. And at this time, that's when they start running and looking for solution. When if they are just gone early, it will be easy to deal with the issues. And one of the reasons why people they don't go early is because they don't really want or one partner don't really want to talk about the issue. They don't really want to talk about the issue. The next point is to lean in. You are encouraging the both partner, that when you have issues like this is a time to lean in, not to lean out. It's a time not to retreat. Like when you get hard in a relationship, the tendency is for people to want to protect themselves. The tendency is for people to want to win an argument. But you are telling them that in this counseling session, everybody will talk. But as much as possible, you are advising them, you are not here to win an argument. And I've said that in our marriage class first module, that most often people win an argument and lose the person. So some people, they will even accept to come to a counseling class just because they want to win an argument. He wants to prove that he's right. Have you seen a couple that they are all Christians, but so full of themselves? Nobody is ready to kind of humble themselves. This one will quote the scripture. Another one will back with another scripture. Another one back with another scripture. They are all using the Bible to defend themselves. So here we're saying that in an issue like this, you are here, you are encouraging them that when you have issues, challenges, problem in your marriage, this is the time to lean in. It's not a time to lean out and stand on the wall. Because if you stand on the wall, we will not fix this thing. If you stand on the bridge, we will not fix this thing. The next point, let the client know that the end result is determined by them. The end result is determined by you. You will be guided, or they will be guided, but in the end, they are in control of what happens, or they determine what happened. They determine the end result. There is no transfer of power when you go for counseling. You are not transferring your rights to the counselor. No, he will not take decisions for you. He's only helping you to take right decisions. The counselor is not your boss. The counselor is not your judge. The counselor is a special expert who will tell you what to do, who will not tell you, not that he will just tell you what to do and what not to do. Like I said before, mostly they will just ask you a lot of questions to get you to figure out what you want and how you feel. So counselors, in the counseling, you see them, they're asking you questions, open-ended questions. As we spoke about, questions that will clarify you, push you to think about what you are doing. They won't press you to make decisions or influence you to do anything you don't want to or you are not ready to do. You are in the driver's seat of your life. Outside of the counseling office and inside of it too, you are the driver. Imagine somebody that comes from America, don't really know Cameroon very well, has learned driving in America, and comes to Cameroon, has his car, he has rented his car. You don't know how to drive, but the person needs to go to the central town or need to go to Bamenda, and the person takes you. He is sitting in the driving seat, and you are in the passenger seat. But you are the person telling him that this is DMRC, this is Obili, this is Melen, this is Tota Melen. If you want to get to the central town, you can go to Rue Carrefour Emia, or you can see as well choose to pass through Palais des Sports. It means that you pass through what they call Kang Yayap, and then you pass through Palais des Sports and still get to central town. But he is the one driving. You are only telling him that this is how Yaoundé is. If you want to get to this place, you must go this way or this way. He may think that he has too much petrol, so he may want to take the way around. Let him even go past through Mokolo. See Mokolo where? From Mokolo, he wants to pass through Palais des Sports. And from Palais des Sports now, before he can go to Hilton Hotel. So you are the one sitting in the driver's seat, in and out of the counseling office. So don't expect the counselor to tell you what to do. The counselor cannot give you all the answers or tell you what to do. No one can do that for you. It is the counselor's role to give you a clearer perspective on your situation and help you to explore the options of finding a better way forward in your relationship. Because if you take decision for them, tomorrow they will say that you are the one that took this decision. Have you realized that when people have their issues as husband and wife, don't ever put their mouth fully there? Because when they will fix it, it will not be there. So even in counseling, don't let them accuse you tomorrow that you are the one that took this decision for them. Okay. So you are only there to help them. The end result is determined by them. The next point, you tell them is go all in for the process. That they should be ready to give in all for the process. Therapy is always a challenge. The therapy that you are offering you need to go in all for the process. And this is good because it means that you are being pushed to grow and to heal. The counselor is pushing them to grow and to heal through the process. However, because the relationship counseling may be a difficult process, some choose to sit on the sideline. I've already said that. Some choose to sit on the bridge, sit on the wall, and stand. They don't want to be fully involved. They don't want to put their emotion into it. However, therapy only helps those who are willing to help themselves. Therapy will only help those who are willing to help themselves. So if they don't go in all for the process, it will not help them. Your therapist is an expert, sure, but they are not able to wave a magic wand and fix you up automatically. No. You as a counselor, you are not a magician that will just press a button and then think. No, they must be ready to work. They must be ready to give in. They can only support, the counselor can only support, guide, and facilitate your own process. If you are not willing to do the work, then you are not going to see any result. So if you find yourself in a therapy or you try to make conscious choice to engage with the process, sure, it's a challenging one, but you must be able to muster all the courage. You must be given with all sincerity, honesty, be motivated, and get involved so that you will see the benefit that you stand to gain in that counseling process. So that point says, go in all for the process. It takes us to the next point, which says, do your homework. Do your homework. Because in the counseling process, they will give you assignment. They will give you assignment. You must be if you are not going in all for the process, sometimes when they give you the assignment, you will not go and do it. At the risk of sounding like you are grade school, some kind of stuff, your therapist may, for example, ask you to schedule in time for intimacy. Notice and record specific patterns of behavior and practice conflict resolution strategies that you have covered in the session. So, what is this point saying? This point is saying that your counselor may say, okay, in the course of the counseling, he has discovered that maybe the process, the issue in this your matter is a problem of intimacy. This man is behaving the way because you have not been giving him your body. So he said, okay, but you are saying you are on a fasting. You are like one that have been watching on the windows. This lady that after marriage on the honeymoon, she's saying that she's ascending realms. That's so perishing. The man came and arranged the bed, put flowers on the bed, and then the lady enters inside the hotel room. He said, "What is this? What is this?" He said, "But we are on the honeymoon, and I just did this for this our special time and all of that." The guy jumped to the other side of the bed. I said, "I know what you want. I know what you want. It's about sex again, right? It's about sex again, right?" He said, "I don't know why you are too carnal. You don't understand that souls are perishing." Then she starts speaking in tongues and say, she wants to ascend the realms. She's ascending the realms. I don't understand. The guy want to follow him to the other side of the bed. The girl jump and run. He said she's ascending the realms. The souls are perishing. Don't you understand? Don't you understand? And she starts speaking in tongues. My God. Those guys, they are very inspired, these windows. So, in the course of the counseling, they may realize that the issue may be an issue of intimacy. So, the counselor may say, okay, your therapist may say, you go and practice intimacy with your wife or with your husband. You must do your homework. If you don't cooperate to do your homework, then you are not going all and all for the process. And that also means you align the therapist to help you. Means that you don't know. You have a problem and you want to be helped. But sometimes people come with problem, and then again it's as if they don't want to recognize that they need help. And then another example is the therapist may give you a specific pattern. You may notice a specific pattern of behavior or practice. And in his conflict resolution strategies that he already understands and knows, he says, okay, maybe what you need to do is whatever that your husband does, go and tell him you are sorry. Don't wait for him to say he's sorry. You go be the first person to say I'm sorry. Or when you want to give him food, go and kneel down. Kneel down to give him food. Different, and then you are not cooperating. You must do your homework. That's what this point is talking about. So when you do that, you likely save time and money, and then things will be easily dealt with. because all therapists, they prescribe homework. But when they do, this can help to consolidate or reinforce what you have learned in the session. But if you are not cooperating to go and do your homework, you'll be wasting time. The next point, as you prepare them for counseling, you let them know, don't monopolize the session. Don't monopolize the session. Although counseling is your opportunity to talk and be heard, it to listen and hear what your spouse is sharing, perhaps for the first time. Because sometimes one partner is used to doing all the talking, and when they get into the counseling situation, they must share deep feelings they have never feel free to share before. So, but if you monopolize the counseling, you will not be, the other person will not be able to also talk. So, this point is saying, don't monopolize the session. Good. It's true that counseling is your opportunity to talk and be heard, but also give chance for another person to talk. Don't monopolize the session. The next point, both of you must be emotionally engaged. If one or both of you has checked out emotionally and is not willing to take responsibility for your problem, then counseling is pointless. That's why I talk about the other point. We say lean in. If somebody has already leaned out and comes to the counseling table, he's sitting there, but his emotions are no longer there. His or her emotion is no longer there. So he is not emotionally engaged and is not willing to take responsibility for any problem. Then counseling is pointless. So going for marriage counseling is a purely voluntary step to take. And if you are there unwillingly or under duress, under force, or they are just forcing you, just passively, your partner, then you are unlikely to have a positive result. Okay. So you will notice the way these points are connected there. This one says both of you must be emotionally engaged. And I've already said the other point that when there is an issue, you should lean in. It's not a time to lean out. If you lean out, you stand on the bridge or you stand on the wall, and then you back at your emotion. So you come to the counseling session, but you are not emotionally engaged. The next point says, don't look for pity. The point that you should be emotionally engaged doesn't mean that you are not looking for pity. For example, somebody can decide to dramatize the session, the first session, especially women crying. He's just crying. And maybe he knows that he is the person in the wrong. He's crying so that to get pity. In philosophy, we call that ad baculum ad misericordiam. Not ad baculum, ad misericordiam, like you are appealing to mercy, appealing to pity. Argumentum ad misericordiam. You are trying to look for pity. You are crying so that they can leave you. They can understand you. You are using tears, not reason. Argumentum ad misericordia. So,
that is not easy.
Now this one does not concern you. I said, don't look for pity. I said, don't look for pity. As I said, certainly, your counselor will be understanding and compassionate, but their priority is to help you do the hard work required to improve your marriage. But if you are looking for pity, you want him to understand you to the point that you are not ready to do your work. You want to use emotion just because we said that you should more emotionally engage. You want to use emotions in order to convince him or convince your partner. In that sense, you are not equally honest. So, but you are trying to use your emotion. You are appealing to emotion. And I said to you that we call this in philosophy argumentum ad misericordiam. Okay.
Yeah, argumentum.
I just call small misericordia. I'm sure someone got confused because I first of all mentioned as if I was talking that it's ad baculum.
That we don't use to hear why he's talking.
Argumentum ad baculum is appeal to authority. Next point. Be willing to change. The next point is be willing to change. So you are telling the client or the couple that no matter what may have been your decision as you are coming to this counseling session, be willing to change. If you are not willing to make changes in your life, you will never be able to improve your relationship itself. If you are willing to make those changes after talking with your therapist and your partner, you can get started on what you want for your future and your marriage life. So the willingness that you have for change is what is really going to mean positive decision.
It's breaking too much. We are not hearing anything.
You are not hearing me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear now.
Yes, we say be ready, be willing to change. I said people come to the counseling table, sometimes they have already taken their decision. So it's as if they have forced them to come to the counseling session and they are not ready to make any changes on what they have already taken as decision. So while you are talking with them, you are saying, as you're coming to the counseling session, be willing to change, to make changes. Remember that they are the ones who make the changes. You will not force them to make the changes. You will not take decisions for them, but they must be willing. You know the proverb that they say, you can take a horse to the stream, but you cannot force this horse to drink water. So that's what that point means. So the point is, you are telling him a horse driver, and the client is a horse, and you want to take them to the river flowing with the life and solution for marriage, but they must be willing. They must be willing to change, be willing to make improvement. They must be really to make adjustment. That's the word. Must be really to make adjustment. The next point is keep your meetings. When you schedule meetings for your partner and with your therapist, you want to make sure that you keep each of them. If you don't have the appointment, you can't overcome the problem that you are facing. That means making sure that you attend your scheduled meeting in order to provide all the things that we have talked about already. So just keeping being punctual or respecting the session, the meeting sessions is part of the deal. Otherwise, when you plan for the meeting, the one that is not willing, the one that does not even want to go in or for the process, the one that is not emotionally engaged, the one that does not even want to do the work, he may just choose not to be present. It becomes like a court case. You know how people go to court? Today, here they say they adjourn the case. So people, when they start go with the case to the court case, sometimes it takes 3 years. I wonder, what are they talking about? A case adjourning. Because today one does not come. It does not come. Meanwhile, he knows that the case is today. So you are preparing them, let them know you are a serious person and you don't want that when you put a session, schedule a session, they don't respond. So I think those are the points some of the points that you can talk before the counseling session. Let me conclude this class quickly by offering us some of the red line signals for counseling. They may not be thorough, that may make you know that this thing, or that you can help somebody that needs counseling but is not willing to come for the counseling. And these are some of those red line signals, some of the issues that you can readily relate with, that these people, they need counseling. The first one is the absence of communication. Is one of the major setbacks that your marriage has. When your marriage has, there is a break in communication. Either you are reluctant to talk and share ideas, thoughts and experiences with your spouse. This is a promise for the need of marriage counseling. The marriage counselor can help you find and follow new effective ways to improve your interaction with your partner. So this point is talking about when there is an absence of communication. In which sense? One partner is reluctant to talk about issues, does not even want to talk about issues, does not want to share ideas, does not want to share their thoughts, does not want to share their experiences. There may be an issue, and it's that you ask the person, you don't want to even talk about it, you don't want to mention about it. That absence of communication is a need, it's a red line that say you need counseling. The next point. If there are arguments with a negative tone become a daily affair, then that is a sure signal to spoil a relationship and that you need counseling. When you and your spouse, you have an argument, one of you is bound to feel disregard, misunderstood, shame, less secure. But that's normal. Arguments may happen in a relationship. But when there are heated arguments, sometimes that it ends up in emotional abuse, like exchanging of words and insult, all of that. Marriage counseling can help you to minimize your arguments and making you to understand your spouse's perspective and vice versa. I've just mentioned a point like this. The next point says you are scared to speak. The next point, you are scared to speak. In a normal marriage, you have the liberty to talk about finances and health, talk about your habits, talk about table manners, talk about just anything. But if you are hesitant to discuss things with your spouse, no matter how trivial, no matter how minute or trivial or crucial they might be, then it means that there is a trouble in your marriage. A marriage counselor now will help you develop confidence in you to speak freely with your spouse. So you still go back to that issue, that area of communication. The next point is you restrict love and affection as punishment. If one of the spouse gets angry and stop talking, loving, and caring for the partner to punish them, then it is leading to a strained relationship. When one gets angry now, he decides to punish the other. He says, I will no longer talk. He stop loving, he stop caring. He can go as far as punish the person by saying, okay, I will not have sex with you. When love and understanding vanish from your relationship, then it's an indication that you need marriage counseling. And that happens when people, they try to punish you, other partner. The next point is situation where you keep secrets from you. One person is doing his project and hiding from another. Have you had issues where even in a relationship, someone is having a building construction project, buy a land, building quietly, secretly the other person does not know. Some cases, they open secret bank accounts the other person does not know. The signal that you keep secret. There need to be transparency in a healthy marriage. But then every individual have the right to privacy. Even though you have the right to privacy, there are some kind of secret that you put that it shows there is a problem and then you need counseling. Pastor Mirabe will take you another course called Setting Boundaries. Setting boundaries, there you will see that even though two shall become one, but it doesn't mean that you lose completely your identity as a person. You may still be yourself, you may still have your own things that you like, some own projects, all of that, but we're talking about some kind of secrets, top secrets. Know that secret is different from privacy. Secret is different from privacy. So when you or your spouse begin to keep secret and avoid sharing your experiences, information, and thoughts with each other, then your marriage might just get into problem and you need counseling. For instance, I've already stated that this is what the point is saying. You know your bank balance is substantial, but you do not want to let your spouse know about it, even when he or she needs money urgently. Things get difficult when one of you discovers the other's secret. The next point, you are financially unfaithful. You are financially unfaithful. Financial dishonesty is bound to affect your marriage. So if you do not find it important to inform your spouse about your expenses, savings, loans, and various other financial matters, it may damage your marriage. If your partner too is reluctant to share his or her own information, then there is something missing in your relationship. You may just try to find a missing link to counseling. The marriage means sharing. Is it not to share everything? If you can share your body, why not share your money? Okay. There is a class that is going to be on the place of finance. I'm not the one, but I'm just talking on this point. There's another point that I've already mentioned. Your marriage lacks intimacy. It's a signal that something is wrong. If you and your spouse are simply sharing a room with nothing much happening between your bed sheets, then your marriage of life, such as dressing style, lifestyle, eating habits, and many other things not happy with your marriage. Okay. I know that they usually say that true marriage is when you love the person the way they are, accept them the way they are. But if you want the person to cut down, he's too fat. you have some the way the person is say he must change his dressing style, he must change his lifestyle, he must change his eating habits. It does not mean that there are not some things that need adjustment. But when you generally want your spouse to change,
And if that change possible,
there is something. But that does not mean that your partner can change their very basic traits for you. Dissatisfaction creeps in your family if the expectations are high, too high, and you need marriage counseling to restore happiness. Imagine some kind of expectation that the person has. You must do this, you must do that, you must do that. You mean you are not living for the person only. So you mean you don't have your life again just because you got married. It's like you must change on this, you must change on that. I heard Pastor Chris saying one time that most often people, everyone is holding a chisel. You know the chisel that carpenters they use. The other one is coming with a chisel. The other one is coming with a chisel. And they get married, but the other one know that he will change the partner, and the other one know that he will change the partner. So everyone is coming to change each other, want to change each other. Oh, let's take for example. Have you seen when a Christian has gotten hoping that he will change the person? So when the issues are too much high expectation, like you need this person to change, you want your spouse to change, there's a problem. And one of that problem is this. It's not like there may not be some things that you don't like about your spouse, but when it's like you are just capital about that, he must change about this, he must change about that, he must change about that. You don't accept the person, first of all, for who the person is. Then you don't love the person for who he or she is. You just need counseling, because in that situation, there will never be that change that you are looking for. Because the change you are looking is to suit you. It's a signal of selfishness. You are selfish. And you want the person to change so that the person can only live for you, do things your own way. So it's like you are the boss in the relationship. And when you are the boss, the other person will be the slave. Okay. So let's end there. Let me hear a few questions. We are already out of time. Few questions, observation, objections. What did you not understand? What you understood? How does it relate with you? Let's talk. This is the only time that we have, because next session I'm going to the deeper. I'm going to deeper techniques of counseling. I'm not going to come back to review what we have done today. So I see only how many people in class. That one is not my problem. I wish that they were not even recording these sessions, so that when you miss class, you have just missed.
we are happy your wishes are not the best. Papa G, I don't know. I want to know more on this financial unfaithfulness.
Financial unfaithful. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Does it mean that any one friend that you are bringing in, you must make sure that he's aware of it? Or any one friend that you are saving, he must know of it? You cannot have any money that you're the one that know that this is, I have money here. Everything.
Okay. From my little experience, the highest wisdom that a man can do is to empower not only to empower the wife financially, but to give her the responsibility to manage finances. And when you give the person the responsibility, it's like you are entrusting the person what comes in. So, but when you do that, that is also a trap on the person. The trap is that what it makes the person to, when he or she to the person also have it. Why will you not also reciprocate and use or be open about what you receive when you know that the other person is entrusting to you everything and making you to know everything? So the financial unfaithfulness come when you are, first of all, you are hiding your income from each other. And when you are hiding from each other, it means you want only one person to spend, and then it means you have a different project. But is it not normal for couples to have their projects together? Let's reason, prophetess.
It's normal. It's normal for them to have together.
So what is your take? What is your take? What do you think about your question?
This is my question is the fact that, if you trusted all his own income to you, and let's say you are not doing something much, and anything that comes from yours, you don't tell him, but you're using it for the family. Is this still a problem? This still also bring conflict up to the extent of going to look for a counselor for that?
No, it's not that level. We have talked about financial dishonesty in the area of you see somebody, he has his secret projects. You see somebody to the point of going to take loans.
Secretly.
Yes, secretly. And maybe even putting the house on collateral security. Then tomorrow he is not able to comply. Then you just see, hear they say they are coming to take the house. So there are some things of confidence, of secrets, some kind of secret that sometimes we have talked about that point on you keeping secrets. It's some kind of secret that you are keeping, which is not healthy for their relationship. So if you have 500 francs, okay, or you receive 5,000 francs, the person that is normally supposed to furnish the house for food stuff or whatever, yes, you discover that the money is finished, but you have received 5,000, but you still want to keep the 5,000 and wanting the person to stretch and maybe even go and borrow. Meanwhile, you are keeping 5,000. That's an issue, right?
Yes, that's
an issue. But I mean, it's a kind of thing you are to. It's a selfishness.
But if the money is finished and you have received 5,000 and you continue the expenditures with the 5,000, it's normal.
It's normal. It's good. It's good. Let me tell you, a very responsible man does not look. He's not looking like what has she received? What is she having now? No.
Exactly.
Yes. The way you treat the person will make the person to open up to you that whatever enters, she will tell you.
Okay, Papa G.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Papa. Papa dear, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, my question goes to the stage 1 under the 3 main stages involved in our counseling session.
Mm-hmm.
This stage one that involves exploration.
Yes.
Usually, a couple does not come to you as a couple. They come like separately. Maybe the person that is mostly hurt or has a problem, the person that you have maybe the first person who will come and lay the complaint.
Yes.
Who is seeking for help? Let's put it that way. So in
Yes.
this stage of exploration,
Yes.
you are receiving that person first. That now you have to get now to the partner, right? And also do the exploration stage with the partner.
Yes. That's right. That's okay. That's it. Let me tell you, we talk about 3 stages, but these 3 stages may have many different sessions.
Okay.
Like stage 1. Stage 1, you may meet with the spouse today, meet with the husband, the wife today, meet with the husband tomorrow. It's still stage 1, but it's different sessions. And you may even still meet with the 2 of them together.
Yes.
To prepare them for the counseling. It's still stage 1. And all this first stage is a stage of trying to understand their thoughts and their feelings. Why they feel the way they are feeling, why they behaving the way they are behaving. You are establishing rapport, you are establishing trust, you are showing respect, portraying empathy, and then
showing love and
yes, and it's even this stage that you now schedule for the counseling.
Okay.
And then even in this stage, as you are talking with them, you will realize that one is not ready, one is ready. So many of these points that we have talked about, red lines for counseling, you may just show the person like these are some of the things that it really shows that you need counseling. You are trying to show them that they need counseling. And then I've given all the points on preparing them for the client for the counseling or pre-counseling session. Is still in part of the stage 1, telling them that you need to be honest as we begin this, encouraging them that we need to start looking into this issue early, encouraging them to lean in, telling them that yes, we are coming into this counseling issue, but the end result is determined by you. I will not take decisions for you. Encouraging them to go in all for the process, encouraging them, letting them to know you need to do your homework because you must collaborate with me. Telling them, okay, in these sessions, don't try to monopolize the session. Don't try to, when someone is talking, listen. The person has listened to you, now it's time for the person to talk. You start hushing the person and then hinting and jumping in and out. You are trying to monopolize the session. You are trying to tell them they should be engaged. If you stand on the wall and you are not emotionally engaged, I will not help you. I may not be very able to help you. It means that you are not in the team. Be willing to change. Telling them you should be willing to change no matter what you have or you know. It's like when we are coming in our orientation class, I said, when you go to school, no matter what you know, consider as if you don't know anything. That spirit of being teachable, it makes you to learn. It's the same like be willing to change. Because some of them, they think that they already know it all. And they are just there. Maybe they think that they are just there so that you cancel the other partner.
Exactly.
They will not be willing to change. Then we have talked about you must keep the meetings. In other words, the meeting that you schedule, punctuality, you must respect it. Okay. That's a good summary, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me hear any other issue before we end the class. Okay. We are good to go.
Before we end the class, I may go back to the case of finances. In the case where trust has been broken, and then there is that sense of insecurity, do you still really have to be working in that same light as if all is well?
I have said that in counseling sessions, there are some things that will not change, may never change, but you will help the client on how to cope with the issue. If somebody is not ready to cooperate financially, maybe the person is irresponsible financially. Instead, he has money, it's either he's going to drink and drunk and all of that. Even when you give him the money or you open up the money, he may even take and go and give another lady. So we also said that the couples have learned to live with some issues that they will never change them. So in this area, wisdom will just teach you what to do. Wisdom is profitable to direct.
Have your secret accounts.
Yeah.
As a solution.
Yes. Okay. All right. So let's end the class there. Thank you.